My name is Bob Baskin, as you've been told, and as many people from where I come from like to say, hi, I'm from Washington and I'm here to help you. In reality, and in actuality, it's not people from Washington that are here to help. It's together that we all have to help one another, and together we can make the progress that we all know needs to be done to accomplish some of the aims of what we all recognize, if we're being straight about it, the very difficult challenge of trying to change the attitudes and change the culture of the way people react to and view violence and crisis and confrontation and so on. And it's only when we can ultimately get to the point of changing people's attitudes that we're really going to be able to achieve what I think we all hope can be and should be the state of the world, and it's going to happen in our own lives, in our own homes, in our communities, in our states, in our country, and hopefully in the world. There's new hope now, and I think that peace in general and peace building is at a point and a juncture where it is more promising, and there are more opportunities for not only a U.S. Department of Peace Building, but for other efforts. And, you know, out of all bad comes some good. I mean, one of the biggest reasons that you see a changing attitude on the Hill and in some of the policymakers is, frankly, the budget, because they realize that waging war and incarcerating individuals and locking up kids can't be sustained budgetarily. So they're now a little more open-minded about the possibility of alternative means of dealing with these kinds of situations. I think that bodes well for peace building, and I think organizations like the Peace Alliance and some of our partners are in a different position now to be able to have a greater impact on convincing those kind of policymakers that they should be taking certain steps that portend well for peace. $2.16 trillion is spent in the United States each year on violence containment. $2.16 trillion. In the 20th century, 100 million people were killed by war, and most of them were non-combatants. We have 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of the world's prisoners that are incarcerated in our facilities. And homicide is the second leading cause of death for 12 to 24-year-olds. And it's first among African Americans. Shouldn't be this way. We have too many resources, we have too much that we can offer, and too many alternatives that we know are proven and exist. And even among this conservative group that takes over the House of Representatives, it's cost effective to use these alternative means to deal with some of these problems. With all of these things going on, and we eventually came in December to Newtown. And that has had a tremendous impact on changing the attitudes, potentially, of people. I was particularly affected by Newtown. I was born and raised in Connecticut. I grew up there. I know the Newtown area well. I also was very personally affected by it because 17 years ago, our 24-year-old daughter was murdered in a violent situation, and it remains unsolved to this day. So it affected me personally, and you know, I'm the kind of guy that likes to move forward. I don't like to keep looking back or status quo. So we kept moving forward, but I can honestly tell you that every single day, she's on my mind. Sorry. And on the mind of the two little kids that she left behind. We must do more. My last word. The real trick is what you can do. And as I sat up on the Hill for almost 10 years, the most important language that people can use with anybody on the Hill is, hi, I'm your constituent, and I want you to do this, or I support this or that, etc. And it's something that each of us can do. We can build a movement, as you guys have so well started, in the peace-building community. But you can get the policymakers to come along. In this case, the peace builders are so far ahead of the policymakers that it's hard to even envision. But you can do something. You can write, you can call, you can visit, you can protest if need be. But the attention needs to be brought to let them know that this is something that their constituents demand. And we can build a movement here, continue to build on this movement, because I think the time is right for the reasons that I stated.